A little bit of body shop today. I'm going to try to... Here's a long overdue... What time is it? Oh yeah, it's time. Here's a long overdue video I need to do because I've tried to type this out a few times for people over the years. And now we have YouTube. I'm going to try to help a few folks out that I see struggling. This is some really thick primer in here. This is some DBC base coat right here. Some clear coat down there. Here's a gun, paint gun. This is a lot like a carburetor. This is a lot like a fuel injector on your car. Because its whole job is to get the fluid to atomize so the spark plug can make it go bang. What's that? Or so we can control that fluid onto a flat panel and get the results we're after. So with that being said, I want to pre-flight this gun a little bit, show you something. I've been storing this gun wet with about, we'll see how much lacquer thinner. I've been storing this gun wet for more than 12 years now. And I only use this one gun for everything. From that thick primer to as thin as I want my clear to be. I'm going to pull out this one. It's this old SATA. And right here there's an adjustment lock that you move if you adjust your fluid. I never adjust the fluid on this gun. I adjusted the fluid last in 1995 when I had a painter helping me out. He'd come and paint panels for 50 bucks a panel. Anyways, he adjusted this gun last and I agreed with him he had it. So it was set in 1995. It's now 2012. So what my point is that never changes on this gun ever. And so I always know when I'm done cleaning it, just to sock it right back up to its stop. And the fluid adjustment is set in stone. This is the fan adjustment on this gun here. I can turn it to a little circle, or I can turn it, even gives you shit. There went my thinner. I just adjust the fan right there. This is what I use to adjust my air pressure. And you can see I can't even read the needle anymore, but it looks like I was reading it a while back, probably trying to tell somebody how many pounds I was shooting something at. But anyways, there's the regulator on this gun, and there's that little filter on the end. And an important thing to note, when you're cleaning your paint gun, you got to take this plastic filter off the gun, because if you're forcing lacquer thinner down that hole, it will find its way out and into this filter, and it will just soak it up and hold it and create a mess. So if you keep that in mind, always take this off when you clean an HVLP gun, whatever they call it. Alright, it's out of habit. Muscle memory is telling me to go shoot paint. Did you see that? I'm starting to put it together. But that's not why we're here. This is a fuel injector. This gun is a 1.4 tip. You could paint a full-size van or a motorcycle gas tank with that 1.4 tip right there. And the way to do it is to get as many things the same every time that you can. So leave the fluid adjustment the same. Never touch it again. We keep the temperature the same. If we always paint at 70 degrees, we're always painting at 70 degrees. We can't blame it was too cold that day or too hot that day. Well, of course in the summer we got to work it a little bit. But for the most part, 70 degrees. Now, the purpose of today's viscosity title is, remember, I said I could paint this, and this is some thick primer. even with its hardener, it even gets thicker, I think. I can paint this or the thinnest clear I would want through that one gun with that one fluid adjustment. This is a stir stick from Starbucks. They're free. I'm going to lob this drop of... Can you see it running down the can there? I just put a drop of primer on that can, and we're watching it run down the can while I'm putting the lid back on. We're looking about how fast that's moving down the can. I got a clean can for the video. I got a regular can that's got so much buildup on it because I do that every time I mix something. I don't do it by eye. Well, I do it by eye because I'm looking at the can, but I don't do it by feel. I do it by, I check it that way. There is a thing called a Zan mix cup. And what it is, it's a little cup on a handle. It's got a little handle on it that you can dip into your paint. It's got a hole in the bottom of it. This is not a Zan mix cup. This is for the demonstration. There'll be a little hole right there. And what they want you to do is scoop of paint, and with a stopwatch, time how long it takes for an ounce of fluid to run through that hole. Now water, which I got in this cool waterborne device here, it's actually a coffee bean thing, I think. Water has the viscosity 17 seconds in a Zan mix cup. So water is a good reference for us to work from. So I got plain water in here. I'm going to take a stir stick again. I'm going to get some water, and this is 17 seconds, okay? It's known. It's a known fact. Maybe in Canada they got the good water up there. They got that hard water. It might be a little different. I'm going to try to get a drop of water on there. And we're going to watch. Look, it's even holding still there. It's kind of a fresh can. And kind of zoomed on down the can. Did you see it? If you can get it to move comparatively, volume-wise, to your paint. See that? There it goes. There it goes. See it moving down the can? And we got a fresh new can, but I think you're getting the gist of what I'm saying. See it going down the can there? That's a drop of water. It's going down a lot faster than that drop of primer we put on earlier. For the demonstration, I'm going to crack out some paint, man. I'm not painting anything, but I've been meaning to do this and just haven't gotten to it. And I checked with the plant, and it's time. So the plant is working well. Got a little water on the top of this paint can. This is just some scrap paint. This is some DBC from PPG. It doesn't matter. This gun, that gun, I shoot anything through it. I try to stick with the same thing because I know what's going to happen. Get me another Starbucks stir stick. Did you know that a raw paint stir stick can soak up to about a half an ounce of paint? These old, these kind of sticks, they'll soak up your paint. They'll rob you, man. The Starbucks stick is a good idea. Okay. I don't know how thick or thin this is. I just grabbed this out of the loony bin there. I'm going to pour some in there. And then I'm going to take it raw, just like that. I'm going to stick it up there next to that primer. And I got a little something tail going, but it's starting to work its way down the can. And we all know that that's too slow, because we saw what water does. So, there's our primer, our water's way down there, and our base coat's trying to catch up. But we gotta help it along, because we know that won't flow by experience. Our gun is set up for 70 degrees already. I'm going to put a little bit of reducer on there. I hope I put not enough. But again, that muscle memory is going to kick in. If I put too much, of course I add a little more paint. Okay, so here's some reduced now. And it's hard to tell just by looking at it. It's hard to tell by looking at the numbers on the side of the thing sometimes. They're a benchmark to work from. If it says, you know, 2 to 1, and do 2 to 1, and then adjust this after that. So here's after some reducers in there. It looks kind of right to me already. Put a drip on there. There it goes. I hope that's showing up because I want this to work first take. Okay, we with me? We got our water down here, our raw primer right there, our raw base right there, and some reduce right there, and that is not enough. That's not enough, because I just know it's not by looking at it. By looking at it. So I'm going to put a little more. I don't know if it's 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 anymore. I don't know. Here we go. I don't believe you can put too much too much reducer in a base. I think you can water that down just as far as you want. And the wetter, the thinner it is, the smoother it's going to lay. The thinner she is, the smoother the lay. Here we go. I put some more reducer in there. Should I zoom out a little bit? Come on, camera. Here we go. Now, see it? See it going? Yeah. That right there is perfect for that gun. That right there is perfect. Right there is perfect. And so, if you look at this can that's sitting right here that I usually on my mixing bench, this is what you need to get yourself an empty paint can. And if you see all the drips that are on this can, that's me trying to figure out viscosity. Not really trying, but dialing it in. There's some shorties. There's a happy one. There's one that's okay, time to go. See what I mean? So basically, we got a fuel injector here type setup. It's got a needle and seat, it's got a gas tank, and a gas pedal. I want to floor that baby and have the right thing happen. So I was trying to solve the mystery of viscosity. I'm not going to do the primer for you because I'd be adding hardener and getting a headache for no reason, literally. But that particular hardener says you can put acetone in it. Not hardener, primer, sorry. If you have a product, and I'm not advertising for anybody, if you have a product and you cannot thin it, you're using the wrong product. Whether it's clear or base, that's ready to go. That's ready to go. That's DBC, and I don't know what it's about. I'll use it for a ground coat on something else sometimes. I'm just going to dump all that right back in the thing. And you owe me 40 cents for that cup. Okay. What else can I tell you? My paint bench is slanted back, so I just put one hole in the can there, and it always goes to that one hole instead of the 10 holes. Very quietly and calmly. Here's the tool I use to close my can. I don't like banging it with a hammer, so I got this method of rolling the lid back on here and closing up the shell. So I did not make a personal appearance in this video other than my hands, because here's the star of the show right there. See that one? Now what'll happen is you'll try this and you won't have success at first. You won't get it at first. Another way to set this up is to, when you do have that gun going and it's going good to you, it's really good to you, you're liking how things are laying down, whether it's your clear or your base or your primer, you're liking how it's coming out, stop, bring the gun to the bench, dip your stick in the paint gun of what's working good through that gun, tap it on the thing and watch what it does. Use the same can every time. After a while you'll get it built up like this, so you got the same reference every time. Use the same gun every time. Everybody gonna freak out now, but get a clear coat gun if you got to. But that, I had to make that video. It was just time to make that video, and it's my contribution this week to the viscosity talk that's going around. Brought to you by Milogarage. So I'm going to figure out what the next right best thing to do is, and I'm going to go do it, and I'll talk to you later.